Jeff Slauson here from 19 News Now at the 19 News Digital Desk. I want to welcome you into our weekly section here, segment here. Normally Dan DeRose, I am filling in for him today for Cuyahoga's Most Wanted. That is where we discuss, break down, and explain to the public here 3 new fugitives, hoping that people can give a little aid in finding and helping to locate, because these are very clearly people that we want off the streets. We want to welcome in, as we do every week here, Detective Red Dyer, who helps us with all of these and is able to break these down. Red, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Pleasure to see you too.
So this obviously is something that's very important, reason why we do it every single week. I want to point out as well, all of these individuals are innocent until proven guilty. However, we need them in front of a judge. We need them in front of somebody to be able to answer to potentially the crimes that they may have committed. Red, I want to start here. We have 3, as we always do, with Kenneth Davis Jr. This is going to be the first one we're going to break down here. If you don't mind, start getting into it.
Of course, there's actually a little bit to break down here. Mr. Kenneth Davis Jr. actually has 2 warrants with the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department, the most serious of which is a felonious assault and discharge of a firearms case. So we're talking about a scary situation. According to reports, in May of 2023, during a verbal argument with one of the victims, he pulled a firearm and shot at victims. One of the victims was struck in the leg and required treatment at the hospital. Mr. Davis then fled on a motorcycle. Kenneth is considered actually a repeat violent offender with the Sheriff's Department as well. In his second case, it's alleged that he was trafficking a fentanyl-related compound as well as heroin and cocaine. It's also alleged that he had a firearm in his possession at that time, which he is not permitted to have due to his extensive criminal history. And we see this a lot. Drugs and guns, unfortunately. Dealing drugs is dangerous. He also has warrants with the city of Parma for failure to appear. He should be considered armed and dangerous. He's approximately 6'4" and 240 pounds and was last known to be staying in the 2400 block of West 6th Street, Cleveland.
All right, Red, we're going to move on to the next one here, and then I do want to come back to just kind of a general thing with a couple of these individuals here. So before we do that, though, I want to go to now Diamond Jones. Diamond Jones, our next one here, and yeah, Red, take it away.
Well, what we see here with Miss Diamond Jones is that according to reports, it's alleged that in May of 2023, Miss Jones pointed a pink handgun at one of the victims and fired a shot. So again, we see more gun crime, unfortunately. She then pointed the gun at another victim and fired another shot. She failed to appear for a hearing in December of 2023, and a warrant was issued for her arrest. She's approximately 5'5" and 200 pounds and was last known to be staying in the 14,000 block of Lisa Drive in the city of Maple Heights.
And you can probably see the question I'm going to ask at the end of this, but again, I want to get to the last one here before we go there. This last one, Rayshawn Lindsay Jr. This one, we get the sheet delivered to us by all of you. This is a long one.
There is a lot to break down here. So let me start by saying that Mr. Rayshawn Lindsay is wanted for 3 very serious cases out of Cuyahoga County. In one case, reports state that Garfield Heights police conducted a traffic stop on him when he intentionally struck the patrol car while the officer was inside the vehicle. Very serious situation. He then fled and crashed that vehicle. A loaded handgun was found on the rear seat of the vehicle. Rayshawn is also wanted for participating in criminal gang activity. We talked about a gang in the past known as the HVD Mob, which operates in the Lee Harvey neighborhood. Gang members will often have jewelry or tattoos referencing the territory. Notably, gang members can be seen wearing a necklace that reads YDYD, or You Dis, You Die. He's also accused of other very serious crimes, such as trafficking a fentanyl-related compound, oxycodone with a firearm, as well as possession of methamphetamine. Rayshawn's last case involved charges of possessing involves charges of possessing multiple firearms, to include 2 Glock pistols and an AR-15 style rifle, all of which he is not permitted to have. He's approximately 6 foot and 164 pounds, and he was last known to be staying in the 1800 block of Beersford Road in the city of East Cleveland.
Red, the overarching thing that I've seen with at least these ones, I know that this is very common. You mentioned it a little bit here, drugs and guns.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit if you don't mind.
Well, that's often, like I said earlier, that's what we often see. If you're dealing drugs, it's very dangerous. I mean, you'll often see criminals who are trafficking drugs who often have guns on them, to either to protect profit, protect themselves. Unfortunately, and it's something that Crime Stoppers does not want to see on our streets, and I'm sure the community does not want to see that on our streets. So any information to lead to the arrest of these individuals would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, Red, and as always, there are rewards available potentially for people. Is that right?
Yes, sir. There is up to a $5,000 reward, as we discuss. And One thing I want to point out too is that Crime Stoppers is completely anonymous for our new viewers. Anyone who doesn't know that we don't have caller ID, we don't record the phone calls, we don't take down your name or any identifying information. Everything that we do is referenced through an anonymous tip number. You can also call in and request updates, you typically after 45 days, on if you are eligible for a possible reward or if your tip led to a arrest or a conviction of an individual.
And lastly here, people may be watching this and wondering, does this actually work? What would you say to that?
Absolutely. We've seen Dan discusses percentages. I don't really get into the percentages too much, but we do know this is working. We are receiving valid tips. Our very skilled and talented warrants team is working those tips, and arrests are being made. Our communities are becoming safer, all thanks to you, the viewers.
Red, anything else before we let you go here?
Well, as I like to remind everyone every week, that crime doesn't pay, but Crime Stoppers does.
Red Dyer, as always, you're a real pros pro here, and we appreciate you very much. And the tip line here we like to put onto our screen there, 216-252. Oh, is that the right number there, Red?
Yes, it is.
It is, okay.
216-252-7460, or 216-25-CRIME. That's what we also like to say. It's easier to remember that way.
Okay, we have the wrong one listed below there, so I'll fix that. But 216-252-7463, or as you heard there, 25-CRIME. Please reach out. We really appreciate it. Red, we appreciate you as always. Thank you so much for your time. Hopefully we get some of these folks off the streets, and then by the time we talk to you next week, we'll have some good news as always. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
And that is going to be it for our Cuyahoga's Most Wanted. Of course, I'll be breaking this down today on 19 News starting at 3 o'clock. We'll see you over there on CBS. On behalf of Red Dyer and myself, we appreciate you all watching. We'll see you coming up on 19 News at 3 o'clock.
19 News, now streaming on Samsung Smart TV. Search for channel 1035.
Red, awesome, man. Really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.